Can I ask you something that might be a little uncomfortable? When was the last time you actually felt peace? Not the temporary kind that comes after a good meal or a distraction on your phone. Not the kind that lasts for 20 minutes until you check your notifications again. I mean real peace. The deep, settled, unshakable kind, where even though things around you are not perfect, even though the bills are still there and the relationship is still complicated and the future is still uncertain, something inside you is just still. If you had to think hard about the answer to that question, you are not alone, not even close. Because there is an epidemic happening right now in this country that nobody is really talking about honestly. And it is not political, it is not economic, it is deeper than both of those things. It is the epidemic of people who are exhausted on the inside. People who look completely fine from the outside, functioning, showing up, getting things done, but who carry this constant low-grade anxiety that never fully goes away. This background noise of worry and restlessness that follows them from the moment they wake up to the moment they finally fall asleep at night. And the painful part is that most of these people have tried everything to make it stop. They have tried staying busy, they have tried therapy, they have tried numbing it with entertainment or food or scrolling. Some have tried medication, some have tried relationships, some have tried success, chasing the next achievement, thinking that when they finally got there, finally reached that goal, finally checked that box, the restlessness would go away. And it never does. Because the thing that is missing cannot be found in any of those places. And somewhere in the quiet, honest part of you, you already know that. What you're actually looking for is peace. And not just any peace. The Bible describes a peace that surpasses all understanding. A peace that guards your heart and your mind in a way that doesn't depend on your circumstances being perfect or your problems being solved. A peace that exists not because everything is okay, but because you know the one who holds everything in his hands. That's what this message is about today. And I believe with everything in me that you did not find this video by accident. Welcome to God Message Global. I'm so glad you're here. I want to start with a story about a woman named Jennifer. She lived in Nashville, Tennessee. From the outside, her life looked like everything most people are working toward. Good job in healthcare administration, beautiful home, 2 healthy kids, a husband who loved her, a church she attended every Sunday without fail. And yet, Jennifer told me that for 3 straight years, she cried in her car every single morning before going into work. Not because anything was dramatically wrong, but because she woke up every day with this crushing weight on her chest that she could not explain and could not shake. She described it as feeling like she was slowly disappearing, like she was going through all the right motions of a good life, but was not actually present for any of it. Like she was watching herself live from a distance. She prayed, she read her Bible, she served at her church, she did everything she had been taught to do, and the heaviness just stayed. One evening, she was sitting on her back porch after the kids went to bed, and she just broke. Not dramatically, just quietly. She put her face in her hands, and she said, "God, I don't even know what I'm asking for anymore. I just know that I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of performing peace I don't actually have. I'm tired of pretending. I just want to feel you. I just want to actually rest." She said that night something shifted in the atmosphere around her. She can't fully explain it. There was no vision, no audible voice, no dramatic experience, but she described it as a warmth that settled over her, and with it came a single thought that felt like it came from somewhere outside herself. The thought was this: "You have been seeking my blessings while avoiding my presence. Come back to me, not to what I can give you, to me." Jennifer sat with that for a long time, and she realized that somewhere over the years, her faith had quietly transformed from a relationship into a routine. She was doing all the right things, but had slowly stopped actually connecting with God as a person, as a father, as someone she could be genuinely honest with. Her prayer life had become a to-do list, her Bible reading had become an obligation, and without even realizing it, she had been trying to earn a peace that was never meant to be earned. It was always meant to be received. That distinction matters more than most of us realize. See, there's a version of faith that is built entirely on performance, Show up enough, serve enough, give enough, do enough, and God will reward you with a good life and a settled heart. And when that settled heart never comes, we assume we just haven't done enough yet. So we do more, and we feel less. And the gap between the peace we're supposed to have and the anxiety we actually feel grows wider and more confusing and more quietly shameful. But that's not the model Jesus gave us. He didn't say, perform correctly and you will find rest. He said, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Not sell you rest, not reward you with rest after sufficient performance. Give you rest as a gift to anyone who comes. That word come is doing an enormous amount of work in that sentence. It implies movement. It implies turning towards something. It implies that there is a direction you can move in right now, today, exactly as you are, with all your unresolved problems and your unanswered prayers and your tired, complicated, imperfect faith. And that direction leads somewhere. It leads to Him. And when you get there, what's waiting is not a lecture about what you should have done differently. What's waiting is rest. Real rest. The kind that Jennifer felt on that back porch in Nashville. Now, I want to ask you something personal, and I want you to answer it honestly, just in your own heart, not out loud to anyone. When you come to God right now, what are you actually coming for? Are you coming for the answer to your problem? Are you coming for the breakthrough you've been waiting on? Are you coming because you need something from Him? Or are you coming for Him? Because here's what I've learned and what Jennifer learned on her back porch, and what I believe is the single most important shift that can happen in the life of anyone who calls themselves a believer. The peace you are looking for is not a feeling that God gives you when the circumstances are right. The peace is a person, and His name is Jesus. And He's not waiting for your life to calm down before He meets you. He's meeting you right here, right now, in the middle of the storm, in the middle of the confusion, in the middle of the exhaustion. The question is not whether He's present. He's always present. The question is whether you're turning towards Him or away from Him when things get hard. Jennifer's life didn't instantly become easy after that night on the porch. The same pressures were still there the next morning, but she told me that something fundamental had changed in how she carried them. She said it was like she had been trying to walk through life, holding every burden with both arms, white-knuckling it alone, and she finally just handed the weight to someone strong enough to actually hold it. And for the first time in 3 years, she woke up without that crushing heaviness on her chest. That's the peace this message is about today. Not the absence of problems, not the end of struggle, but the presence of the one who is bigger than every problem you are facing and every struggle you are carrying. He's reaching out His hand to you right now, just like the thumbnail you saw when you clicked on this video. That hand is extended to you today. And what comes next is going to show you exactly how to take it. Stay with me. I want to talk about something that I think is one of the most misunderstood concepts in the entire Christian faith. And it is something that has kept millions of genuinely sincere, genuinely believing people from experiencing the peace that God has always intended for them. It is the idea that peace is something you have to maintain. Think about how we talk about peace in everyday life. We say things like, I am trying to stay peaceful. I am working on my peace. I am protecting my peace. And while there is some wisdom in those phrases, there is also a hidden assumption buried inside all of them. The assumption that peace is fragile, that it can be lost, that it requires constant effort and vigilance to hold on to, that if you're not careful enough, if something catches you off guard, if the wrong news comes at the wrong moment, it will shatter and you will have to start all over again, rebuilding it. And if that is your relationship with peace, I want to gently tell you something today. That is not the peace Jesus was talking about. In the book of John, chapter 14, Jesus is speaking to His disciples the night before His crucifixion. Think about that context for a moment. He knows what's coming. He knows about the arrest, the trial, the cross. And in the middle of all of that, He looks at the people He loves most and He says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid."
not as the world gives. That phrase is the key to everything, because the peace the world offers is always conditional. It depends on your bank account being above a certain number. It depends on your health report coming back clean. It depends on the relationship being stable and the kids being okay and the career moving in the right direction. The world's peace is always one phone call away from disappearing completely. But Jesus was describing something categorically different. He was describing a peace that exists independent of circumstances. A peace that does not rise and fall with the stock market or the news cycle or the condition of your personal life on any Tuesday morning. A peace that can be present, fully, genuinely present, even in the middle of the hardest season you've ever walked through. How is that possible? How do you have peace when things are genuinely falling apart? Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. Not the Daniel from the Bible, a real man I know from Texas. Daniel was a contractor who lost his business during a particularly brutal stretch in the economy. Lost it completely. Had to lay off people he had worked with for years. Had to sell equipment he had spent a decade building up. Had to have conversations with his wife about their savings and their mortgage that he described as some of his most humiliating moments of his life. He told me that during that season, he had every reason to be in complete despair. And there were moments of real grief. He's honest about that. But he said that underneath the grief, underneath the stress and the uncertainty, there was something he could not fully explain, a steadiness, a quiet certainty that he was not navigating this alone, that somehow, in a way he could not yet see, this was not the end of his story. He described it as peace that did not make sense given his situation. And that's exactly the language Paul uses in Philippians chapter 4. He talks about a peace that surpasses all understanding. That phrase, surpasses all understanding, is not poetic decoration, it's a literal description. This is a peace that your mind cannot fully comprehend or explain. It doesn't compute logically. It shouldn't be present given the circumstances, and yet it is there, steady, real, unshakable. Daniel lost his business in March. By the following January, he had been hired as a project manager for a larger company at a salary higher than his business had ever paid him in its best year. He told me later that the thing he lost was actually the thing that had been keeping him from something better. But he could not have known that in March. All he could do in March was choose to anchor himself to his circumstances or to his God. He chose God. And the peace that came with that choice carried him through the entire storm. Now I want to speak to someone who is in their own March right now, someone who is in the middle of the loss, not the other side of it, someone who cannot yet see the January that is coming. And I want to say this as directly and as honestly as I can. You do not have to understand what God is doing in order to be at peace with the fact that He is doing something. That's a big statement, and I want you to sit with it, because one of the biggest thieves of peace in the Christian life is the demand for explanation. We want to know why. We want the plan laid out. We want to understand the purpose before we agree to trust the process. And God, in His wisdom and His love, almost never works that way. He asked Abraham to leave everything he knew without telling him where he was going. He asked Noah to build a boat before a single drop of rain had fallen. In every single case, the peace and the obedience had to come before the explanation, not after. Faith has always worked that way, and peace, real peace, is an act of faith. It is the absence of questions. It is the decision to trust the character of God, even when you cannot see the hand of God. There's a difference between those two things. Tracing the hand of God means you can see what He is doing clearly enough to feel comfortable. Trusting the character of God means even when you cannot see anything clearly, you know enough about who He is to believe He is still working. Jennifer learned this on her back porch. Daniel learned this in the middle of losing everything he had built. And I believe today, through this message, you are being invited into that same learning. The peace that is available to you right now is not waiting for your problems to resolve. It's not waiting for the diagnosis to come back clear, or the relationship to stabilize, or the finances to recover. It is available to you in this exact moment, in this exact condition, with this exact set of unresolved questions hanging over your life. But accessing it requires something, and that something is not more effort or more performance or more religious activity. It requires surrender. And I know that word can feel scary. Surrender sounds like losing. It sounds like giving up control. And in a culture that values self-sufficiency and hustle and figuring things out on your own, surrender can feel like weakness. But here's the truth that changes everything. Surrender to God is not weakness. It is the wisest, most powerful thing a human being can do, because it means you are finally putting down a weight you were never designed to carry alone and placing it in the hands of the only one who is actually strong enough to hold it. That's not losing, that's winning. That's the moment everything starts to shift. The reality is, surrender isn't just a spiritual idea. It's something that transforms the way you live every single day. Many people have heard about God's peace, but not everyone has experienced it in their own heart. And that's what I want to talk about now, because once you understand this, you'll never look at surrender the same way again.
I want to be really honest with you right now, because I think there is a conversation that needs to happen that most Christian content avoids, and I am not going to avoid it today, because I think it is too important, and I think you are too important for me to just skip past it and give you something that sounds good but does not actually help. Here it is. A lot of us have been taught about peace our entire lives. We have heard the sermons, we have read the verses, we have written Philippians 4:7 in our journals and put it on our walls and made it our phone screensaver. And yet, we still wake up anxious. We still lie awake at 3 in the morning running through worst-case scenarios. We still feel that persistent unease that no amount of scripture memorization seems to fully touch. And instead of being honest about that gap, most of us do one of two things. We either perform peace we do not actually feel because we think that is what good Christians are supposed to do, or we quietly conclude that something must be wrong with us, that everyone else has figured something out that we have not, that our faith is somehow defective. I want to tell you today that neither of those responses is the truth. The truth is that there is a difference between knowing peace as a doctrine and experiencing peace as a reality. And the bridge between those two things is something most of us were never clearly shown how to cross. Let me tell you about a man named Thomas in the Bible. Not doubting Thomas. Well, actually, yes, that Thomas. Because I think Thomas gets treated unfairly in most church conversations, and I want to give him a moment of honest credit today. When Jesus appeared to the disciples after the resurrection, Thomas was not in the room. And when the other disciples told him what they had seen, Thomas said something that has made him infamous for 2,000 years. He said, "Unless I see the nail marks in his hands, and put my finger where the nails were, and put my hand into his side, I will not believe." And we have called him Doubting Thomas ever since. Like doubt is something shameful, like the honest expression of where he actually was in that moment was a character flaw, rather than a deeply human response to an impossible situation. But here's what I want you to notice. Jesus did not write Thomas off. He did not remove Thomas from the disciple list. He did not send a message back saying, "Tell Thomas that his doubt disqualifies him from my presence." He showed up specifically for Thomas. The Bible says 8 days later the disciples were together again, and this time Thomas was with them. And Jesus came and stood among them, and he looked directly at Thomas and said, "Put your finger here. See my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Stop doubting and believe." He met Thomas exactly where Thomas was, with exactly the evidence Thomas said he needed. And I want to ask you something. What is your Thomas moment? What is the thing you are struggling to believe right now? What is the area of your faith where you have been quietly honest enough to admit that you are not fully there yet? That the peace you are supposed to have feels more like a concept than a reality? That you're going through the motions, but something inside you is still not settled? Because Jesus is not afraid of that honesty. He is not surprised by it, and He is not withholding His presence from you because of it. He showed up for Thomas in his doubt. He will show up for you in yours. Now let me talk about what surrender actually looks like in practical everyday life, because I promised you I would, and I want to deliver on that. Surrender is not a one-time dramatic moment where you fall to your knees and feel electricity go through your body and everything changes forever. For some people, it happens that way, and that is beautiful. But for most people, for the vast majority of ordinary believers living ordinary lives, surrender is a daily practice, sometimes an hourly one. It looks like waking up in the morning before your feet hit the floor and saying out loud or in your heart, "God, today belongs to you. I don't know what today holds. I don't have all the answers, but I am choosing to trust you with it before it even begins." It looks like when the anxious thought comes, and it will come because anxious thoughts are part of being human, instead of either fighting it or feeding it, you acknowledge it and then you hand it over. You literally say, "I see this fear, I feel this worry, and I am giving it to you because I wasn't built to carry it alone." It looks like in the middle of a hard conversation or a stressful moment, taking one breath and remembering that you are not navigating this in your own strength, that there is a God who is present in this room, in this moment, who is not panicking even if you are. This is what Paul meant when he said, "Pray without ceasing." He wasn't talking about walking around with your eyes closed, mumbling prayers all day. He was talking about a posture, a constant internal orientation toward God, a life lived in ongoing conversation with Him rather than periodic check-ins when things get desperate. And here's what happens when you begin to actually live that way. And I want to be clear that it is a process, not an instant transformation. Gradually, almost imperceptibly at first, the anxiety starts to lose its grip. Not because your circumstances changed, not because the problems went away, but because you are no longer carrying them the same way. You are no longer the sole person responsible for figuring everything out. You have a partner in it, the most powerful partner that exists. Jennifer found this on her back porch in Nashville. Daniel found it in the middle of losing his business in Texas. And I've watched it happen in the lives of people from every background and every situation you can imagine. The peace rises, not all at once, but it rises. And here's the thing about that rising peace that I want you to hold on to as we move toward the end of this message today. It changes you from the inside out in ways that nothing else can. Because when you are no longer driven by anxiety, when you are no longer making decisions out of fear or desperation or the need to control every outcome, you start to show up differently in your own life. You become more present with the people you love. You become more creative in your work. You become more courageous in your faith. You become more genuinely kind because you're not so depleted from carrying everything alone that you have nothing left to give. Peace is not just a feeling you get to enjoy personally. It's a force that flows outward from you into every relationship and every space you occupy. When you carry genuine peace, people around you feel it. Your kids feel it. Your spouse feels it. Your coworkers feel it. Even strangers you pass in a grocery store can feel something different about a person who is genuinely anchored in the peace of God. You become, in the most literal sense, a carrier of something the world desperately needs. And the world right now is desperately hungry for it. Look around at this country, at this moment in history. The anxiety levels are off the charts. The division is deep. The uncertainty is real.
People are scared and overwhelmed and running on empty in ways that are becoming harder and harder to hide. And into all of that, God is calling people who know His peace to carry it, to demonstrate it, to be living proof that there is a way to navigate the chaos of this world without being consumed by it. That's the calling on your life right now. Not just to find peace for yourself, although that matters deeply and God cares about it personally, but to become a source of it for everyone around you. I don't want this to be just another message that makes you feel better for a little while. I want it to become the moment you finally stop carrying everything on your own and place it into God's hands. Because the truth is, real peace begins when we stop trying to control every outcome and start trusting the one who already holds our future. And that simple act of surrender can change everything.
I want to begin with something simple. Take a deep breath for a moment, a real one, slow and steady. Because what I'm about to share is something I don't want you to simply hear. I want you to truly receive it. Not just with the part of your mind that processes words, but with the part of your heart that has been carrying so much for so long. So if you're ready, open your heart for just a moment and listen closely. Are you ready? You do not have to figure everything out today. I know that sounds almost too simple. I know your brain is already pushing back with a list of reasons why that cannot possibly be true. The deadline, the decision that needs to be made, the conversation that needs to happen, the situation that genuinely cannot wait. And I'm not dismissing any of that. Those things are real and they matter. But here's what I have learned about the way most of us live, and maybe you will recognize yourself in this. We carry tomorrow's problems today. And then when tomorrow comes, we carry the next day's problems on top of whatever today brought. And slowly, without even realizing it, we are not just carrying one day's weight, we're carrying the accumulated weight of every unresolved thing from the past and every feared thing from the future, all at once, every single day, in a body and a mind that was only ever designed to handle today. Jesus knew this about us. That is why He said, "Do not worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will worry about itself." Each day has enough trouble of its own. That was not a suggestion for people who have easy lives. That was a command for people living in the middle of real uncertainty. People like you, people like me, people who have genuine reasons to be concerned, but who are being invited into a better way of carrying those concerns. The better way is peace, and it starts with one decision. Not a complicated decision, not a decision that requires you to have everything figured out or feel a certain way or reach some spiritual level you haven't gotten to yet. Just one simple, honest, humble decision. The decision to stop carrying it alone. That's it. That's the entire invitation of everything we have talked about today. Jennifer made that decision on her back porch in Nashville. Daniel made that decision in the middle of losing everything he had built in Texas. Thomas made that decision in a room in Jerusalem when Jesus showed up specifically for him in his doubt. And today, right now, in whatever room or car or quiet corner you are in as you watch this, you can make that decision too. You can say out loud or just in your heart something as simple as this: God, I am tired of carrying this alone. I don't have all the answers and I'm not even sure what I'm asking for, but I'm turning toward you right now. I'm choosing your peace over my anxiety. Help me to actually live that way, one day at a time. That prayer does not have to be eloquent. It doesn't have to be long. God is not grading your vocabulary or your theological precision. He is looking at your heart. And a heart that turns toward Him, however imperfectly, however haltingly, however mixed with doubt and exhaustion, that heart will find what it is looking for. Because He promised, and He does not break His promises. Let His peace fill your heart. That is what your thumbnail said when you found this video today. Find hope, find rest, find Him. That was not random. That was a message that found you at the right moment for a reason. Now I want to take a moment before we close to talk to you about this community, because God Message Global is not just a YouTube channel to me. It's something I genuinely care about in a deep way. Every person who finds their way here matters. Every comment I read reminds me that real people with real struggles are watching these messages and something is actually happening in their lives. And that is the only reason I keep doing this. So if this message reached you today, if something in this conversation stirred something real inside you, if you felt even one moment where the weight lifted a little and something like hope came in to take its place, I want to ask you to do a few things. First, hit that like button right now. I know it feels like a small thing, but every like tells YouTube that this message is worth sharing with more people. And there are people watching right now who need to hear exactly what you just heard. People who are one video away from making a decision that changes the direction of their life. Your like helps this message find them. That is not nothing. That is genuinely significant. Second, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do that right now. Not just so you don't miss the next video, although I hope you come back every single time, but because subscribing means you're joining a community of people who are choosing to anchor themselves in faith instead of fear. People who are done performing peace they don't feel and are ready to actually experience the real thing. You belong in that community. We want you here. Third, share this video with someone specific, not just a general share to your story that everyone scrolls past. Think of one real person in your life who is carrying something heavy right now. Someone who seems okay on the outside, but who you know is struggling on the inside. Send this directly to them. You don't need to attach a long explanation. Just say, "I watched this today and thought of you." Let the message do the rest. You have no idea how much that one act of reaching out could mean to someone who has been feeling invisible in their struggle. You're never the only one. That is one of the most important things this community continues to teach me. Before I go, I want to leave you with a question to carry with you today. Not to stress over, just to sit with honestly. If you woke up tomorrow morning and genuinely handed every single burden you are carrying right now, not just said the words, but actually released the grip, what would your day look like? How would you move through it differently? What conversation would you finally have the courage to have? What decision would you finally have the clarity to make? What relationship would you finally be fully present in instead of distracted and distant? Picture that version of your tomorrow, because that version is available to you. It's not a fantasy. It's not reserved for people with easier lives or stronger faith or fewer problems. It's the life Jesus was describing when he said, "Come to me and I will give you rest." Peace is rising in your heart, in your home, in your life. Find hope, find rest, find Him. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.